Всем привет! Меня зовут Ксюша Кравцова.
Hello everyone, my name is Ksenia Kravtsova. I'm community manager for Standoff 365,
С
and we will talk
капитаном
about
Тимуром Молдалиевым.
interview. We will have an interview with Timur Maldaliyev from CodeBuy and with Igor Bogomolov for True Zero
В
XA3.
таком же формате был год назад.
The last standoff we had a year ago,
Как у вас
and please tell us
изменился
what changed when you prepared for this standoff.
Касаемо подготовки,
Well,
наверное,
regarding the preparation, I think we have our own methodology. We had certain tools which we use,
из раза в раз. Поэтому
and we use them time after time. So we prepared just like we did before.
попозже, возможно, поговорим про 365.
Later on, we will cover 365. It actually helped us achieve some substantial results. Speaking about the changes in the team, yes, we had some people who left our team. Some of them formed their own teams and still take part in it. But in general, we have the main parts of the team still here. Yes, they shifted to the attacker teams. Igor, and what about?
Сказать можно, что также
Well, I can say that we basically have the same approach as previously. Basically, we did nothing. We have this combination of different
информзащиты, которые все, потому что
different experts, and we started in 2016, and we had work in different areas in different companies, and Standoff is the only place where we get together. It's like a tradition, and we just we would like to bring here together and just spend some time, have some fun, play some games. So this kind of approach, it's very relaxed. And in terms of preparation, I think we expanded the number of people we had in the team. Previously, it was up to 15 people, but this time we had almost 30 people in the team, so that we had this
кого-то учить. Но
succession of generations, so that we can pass on the experience to the next generation.
внимание,
And you have to actually get the experience.
объясняли, как стендов работает, как
And we had some
школ. В целом это не то, что сильно
small lectures, small talks. We explained our newbies how it works.
Это единственное, что в остальном
And it's actually very interesting. It's like a role-playing games.
open-source в большей части все. Вот. Но есть там
In the majority, we had open source projects. And the main problem in Standoff
очень много
is working with traffic. There are so many steps you have to identify and you have to follow to correctly work with the traffic.
А тренировались на онлайн-полигоне?
And did you test the online range?
потому что мы
Well,
вообще
actually, I realized that why
в команде, они там
they have very good result, because
я так понимаю, что это сказывается. Ну, то есть, то есть
I think obviously if you have this online test range, if you test there,
мы
clearly you will get better results. But unfortunately, we did not do so. Well, we will know and we will do it next time. Timur, how many active participants you had?
По моему мнению, как везде сейчас ходят там в чатах, что у нас 100-120 человек, у нас
Well, many chats say that we have over 100 active participants, 100, 120, but
20-25.
we had about 20-25 active people at the peak moment.
Нам
There are some people who work with the support, there are some people who work with
25 есть.
methodology, but I would say we have about 25 active people.
Выделяют там определенные роли. Кто-то пишет отчеты отдельно.
I know that some people dedicate specific roles for some specific team members, some prepare reports, some look for traffic, some make the first, second, third line of defense.
тоже, да,
What's your approach?
есть роли, как всех больших команд.
Obviously, we do have roles, as any big team would have.
Одна роль отчетов, человек
Our,
пишет один отчет.
we have one person who creates all the reports all the time, all the day. Obviously, it's a bottleneck, but still they have experience, they know how to do this, because it's a very complicated
Сам влез,
mechanic,
что я нормально пишу. Ну,
and it's not that easy to create
жестко
a correct report. I have experience, but I was not able to file the correct report. The organizers told me basically just to redo the report, so I will never try it again, at least in this standoff. We also have our network team.
Скада тоже капитан.
We have SCADA.
Кто знает Скаду, все остальные вот, ну, ноль.
Basically, the captain, only captain knows about SCADA. Everybody else
Вебчик,
work with web
которые
and pen testers. We have infrastructure people who try to hack domains, we try to hack Windows, but in general, it's more about knowing standoff. It's just general preparation level. I think that's all. That's all I wanted to say. There are no other rules.
Для того, чтобы структурировать работу и вообще...
Which tools do you use to structure your work and everything that you find? Well, this year we've got prepared ourselves. So it was a Discord, it was one big
Мне это очень не нравилось. Я
trash
роль как раз в то, чтобы организовать
bin. But I decided to organize all of this. I've been using,
Hive.
well, I took Hype, something else,
Мы выбрали просто Google.
and in result, we decided to use Google Spreadsheets. I've done everything beautiful, like a real manager. And we've been using these spreadsheets for 7 offices,
Наши вводные, подготовительные информации.
all the intro information, preparatory information,
Бывает не структурированы.
because it's much more convenient. It's unstructured data. Sometimes it's impossible to structure it. So I decided to do it.
Лучше мы
And this time it was better. We worked as a team much better. We all understood what we know how to do, what we don't know how to do. Everything was all right. It was okay.
А у вас какие инструменты?
Timur, which tools you did?
Комментариев по
Out
взаимодействию.
of the tool set, while working with the team,
Discord мы пробовали разные.
we're using Discord.
Было Notion.
We've tried other things
И вернулись к
and
Discord.
spreadsheets, but we came back to the Discord. It's very convenient from the point of view of its communicative things.
Очень быстро человек
can
куда
Quickly pull a person somewhere.
в этом году
As for the roles in the team,
свою систему.
we have improved our system.
Есть так называемые микрокоманды, где есть
We have micro teams.
написанием отчетов и общий
There's a person who writes reports,
вебер,
and he has one Weber,
но
one infrastructural person,
называемый
and a team lead.
то есть
So he's also infrastructure type of person. Maybe 2-3 people as members in the team. It helped us in the first stage to cover as much as possible
простые риски, то есть мы ушли
and do simple risks.
в офисные риски.
First, we went to simple office risks. We've collected them, and afterwards, we went into technological segment, SCADA system, complicated web segment.
Как эта группа собирается?
And how do you collect this group?
В частности,
Well, we appoint people.
вице-капитан, вот,
We have captain, vice captain,
совет старейшин,
and so-called board of wise men, the main
это распределение
module of the team, which distributes people on what they do in different offices.
игры, все это
And in the process of the game, everything changes. Some other people are switched to other places, but the concept is the same, always.
Интересно то, что
Understand? That's pretty cool.
там очень
And
важный проиграли.
we also have played one other bigger step
Риски пропустили.
because, well, we have missed
Сложные риски. Вот эти офисные
and we took very important risks. And in the end, we have not been able to collect it. We've submitted 2 risks, but
4.
during the first day, we had like 4 or 5, many other risks. So in the course of the first day, we've done like 19 of them we have submitted.
Меньшую часть. Ну а
So the lesser part.
это там риски 2500 не стоят обычно.
Да, да, то есть
The spreadsheets, they give you 2.5 points, 2.5 thousand points.
Может быть, очков, да? То есть вот мы их просто скипнули.
So we've skipped them because
Не выделили это. Мы такие на SCADA были сосредоточены.
we did not put it separately. We've been concentrating on SCADA. And then we had a strategy. If you take SCADA, you will win the first one, but there will be a loss. It's like one office risk. And for the office points, well, you can submit it later if you get ahead. But it didn't work. It didn't work.
Тимур, а у вас какая стратегия?
Timur, what was your strategy? How do you choose into which segments do you go? Which events you do?
во всех
Well, we immediately went to all the offices, we collected all the simple risks, and then we started concentrating on something difficult because we perfectly understood there's a lot of team and simple risks in the end will cost a lot of points,
можно
few
быстрее.
points. So we had to collect them as fast as possible and report and get our points.
Егор, а вот, по-моему,
Igor,
вы хорошо так сконцентрировались на атом.
you have concentrated on nuclear industry this time. Was it a specific decision? Well, it was our strategy in standoff.
Быстрее крутим. Но
What is broken simply, but it's not like, okay, let's do it nuclear today. No, we don't have anything like that. We evaluate.
Алка дала нам, да, все сегменты
Social gave us all the
пробивок.
parts, then the other networks, and then on a step-by-step basis, gradually we've been opening hacking DMZ network, and it did happen that
Мы с капитаном вместе, по-моему, засели.
Together with the captain, we started doing and breaking nuclear industry. I don't know who broke it as the first one, I don't remember.
Пробили, мы
But as soon as we broke it, we started collecting risks. 3, 4 risks we collected from nuclear industry in one day. In one day.
уж так получилось. Но
That's how it happened.
рука вот...
It depends on how it goes. You know, we found something and then we try to disclose it.
много...
In other cases, we work with what is available because you can collect a lot of points from a small stream, what you found, and then you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, and then it works better.
Как бы такой фокус внимания.
Because when you face something and then you switch your focus of attention, that's it.
Тимур,
Okay, Timur.
ты на нефтяной промышленности зачастую.
I know you've been concentrating in the oil industry and you've been concentrating on it.
По-моему, вы реализовали...
Perhaps you've realized only 3 inadmissible events out of 31. How do you evaluate your result? Well, it was too sad because we always wanted to pay special attention to oil industry. But this time it was the most complicated office because it was
Сабдоменами, с лесами.
with subdomains, with branches, and as we've learned in the end, there were some technical problems. That's why we couldn't get inside of it since the beginning. And because of it, we just dropped it.
Очень сильно обидно, но
And it was really sad for me, but
в других
the
областях.
general result shows us that in other areas we can gain so many points as well. Also, I've noted
Стендов.
that maybe it's the first standoff where you have so many inadmissible events and so many things are discovered actively, like 41 hours, like 4 days you've been playing. How do you evaluate why it's like that? Why in last May it wasn't like that?
Сейчас был стендов, когда
During last May, it was a standoff with a bottleneck.
структура такая, что нужно было проломить.
The structure was that you had to break through into one office, and then inside you can branch.
Значит, другая ситуация. Там было 54
Well,
всего.
there was 54 risks in total.
Рисков было
I
много.
think more than 100. Well, there was a lot of risks,
Проблема
more
была.
than 100 risks. But the main problem was that last year, because of first 2 days, nothing worked.
Ну, оно,
Nothing worked.
то есть, условно говоря,
Yeah, it was lifting and dropping. There was no stability in principle.
не...
Neither technical, neither other ones. We spent a lot of time. We thought that we have a problem, that we cannot do something, but the problem was on the technical side. And when they solved this problem, everything that we were able to do, we did it. Yeah.
Гораздо.
This type
Он реально стабильный
standoff is more stable. Yes, much more stable.
было. Ну,
Basically, there were a couple of details,
комментарий, что
if not for them, but well, the problems were in the logic of those tasks because some tasks were not really completed logically because developer have not tested it. At least it worked. It
стендов как раз было так.
didn't break. And the test was like you restart it and it takes like 1 hour to restart it or it hangs up or whatever.
Не знаю, мне, кстати, казалось, что как бы тут в этот раз явно
I thought that this time
был доступ вот так прям ко всему и сразу.
there was access to everything at the same time.
Ну, для нас так, по ощущениям. так сказать.
At least that's the feeling I've got.
У нас в этот раз было...
Well, this time we had 22 teams, including foreign teams. Did you feel more competition?
Мы не почувствовали.
Цепи.
No, we did not. Or you just been fighting. We have only one competition. For us, it's only one competition.
Относимся
Well, in any case, we look at everybody
вспомнить
with care, because if you
прошлый стендов.
remember different previous standoffs when teams
Кудебай, да, там, с
in like code by
места на первое.
from last place to the first place.
Всегда
That's why we always follow each one of them. Yes, we did have this feeling, but we had a feeling from some teams, we cannot say that from some teams we see some lack of experience when they enter some machine. We are located there, they're kicking us out, they're not trying to get in touch, they're not trying to find agreement, they're starting breaking not to check for vulnerabilities and increase their privileges, but physically trying to break it. They're trying to change all the passwords.
Поэтому мы
So
что
we felt it.
количество команд это
The big number of teams doesn't always means high quality.
Это все время что-то, ну, нету баланса такого.
During standoff, well, there's no pure balance, no pure experiment. So everybody who is the first one to take the first place, that's the one who gets it.
Вот так происходит.
But very often things like that happen in SCADA. No, it happens everywhere.
Я все время отмечаю, что в целом эта игра
I'm always saying that what's interesting about this game, because it's completely disbalanced.
это,
The victory here, it's impossible to do it without skills. It's impossible.
что-то там
But due to the case when something drops, maybe you haven't seen something, when something didn't work, and the first team have entered, the second one have changed the password, the first one didn't understand it, similar conditions, whatever. But it's interesting.
здесь мы там поотрываемся, побалуемся, как бы вот в таком
So-
большом.
We like working in such a chaos.
Как вам по времени и длительности? То,
What
что
about the duration?
у нас постоянно такая дилемма, сколько
We have always a dilemma. How many days
делать ли ночи,
should we do, or should we do it in the nights?
там,
And how the team perceives night standoffs.
и, может быть, есть там пожелания на следующий.
And maybe there's a desire for the next one.
У команды есть
Any wishes? Well, the team does have preferences for the night shifts. I don't like shifts. I like to sleep in the night. Then in the morning you come with a fresh head, etc. Or maybe you can do it in the evening. But the thing is, when you stop the game, mandatory. You have to sit and think. But when you play without a stop, you say, no, I have to think. I will solve it.
сработает.
Just a little bit more. But it doesn't work because you don't think normally with your head. You cannot find this solution.
Останавливать, чтобы я так остановился, остепенился.
But you have to stop. You have to calm down.
Когда было 4 ночи,
There were standoffs where there were like 4 nights. It was the most awful
просто там
nightmare of my life. Like you don't sleep, wake up and break.
нужно было, да. Когда был ночь,
No, we shouldn't do it like that. But when it was the last night, you can keep it.
ну вот я
It's pretty cool night experience. But I think
настраиваю,
that we as people, we have to sleep.
как бы вот. У кого-то, да,
I prefer to work during the days. Yes, we do have people who can play in the nights.
но мне кажется, вот сейчас мне было самое комфортное. Самое комфортное, потому
But I think it was the most comfortable because I have a lot of job. I have some things to do in the evening. It's you don't do it against the game. The game has finished and you do something else.
Берут отпуск на стендап.
Do many people take vacation for standoff? Many people are sent for a business trip to standoff. Yeah,
поэтому нет, немного. Компании побольше,
not many.
процентов 90.
Mostly 90%, 95%.
Ну, есть парочка, да, с отпусками.
But there are a couple of people that we release for that. What about your company?
Касаемо формата,
Answering the question as for the format, we are saying that we prefer to play in the night because
мы понимаем, что могли еще что-то
at the end, when we wanted to complete something, fix something, look something, and maybe we didn't have enough time.
в команде тоже мнение очень двоякое, потому что ребята некоторые говорят, блин, как
Because some people say, well, it's wonderful that we don't play in the night, but some other people say, well, it's too sad.
играть ночью.
For example, I do like to play in the night. There are not too many people. You can study the sample, you can look at it, you can request tech support because guys don't sleep as well.
Это не дергает.
Nobody disturbs them and they work with current objectives. So we prefer to play in the night.
Это
Okay.
спали?
Did you sleep last night?
Мы готовились,
We've been preparing ourselves. We did sleep a little bit, yeah.
не знаю, ну,
I don't
наверное,
know.
часов до 1:30 мы
Until 2:30,
готовились к сегодняшнему
we've been preparing for today.
эксплойту.
We've been preparing some exploits for SCADA,
Сегодня что
and we came
только дайте.
in the morning, charged. Give us the network and we'll do everything. Yeah, we felt it. We felt it.
Какие у вас были вообще ожидания
What expectations did you have
стендов?
for this standoff? And have they been justified?
Не, у нас, ну, мы
Our
понимаем,
expectations.
сходить мы
We know what is going to happen here. We already know it.
сказали, оно
So
случилось.
everything that we've expected did happen. The only thing is that
Подошли к организации.
the organization was properly approached from the technical point of view. Everything worked. There were some local problems. Sometimes it was cold, sometimes it was warm.
В целом,
Yeah. But generally, we were able to cope. Nobody have died, nobody got sick. That's it. Everything's good. Everything's okay.
К стендоффу ожидания
As for the standoff, our expectations have been justified completely, even more than justified. Because we're used to the fact that standoff, it's a chaos, it's a big infrastructure, it's not against organizers, but it's impossible to do it to make it stable in principle, especially when you have 22 hacker teams. It's impossible. And we understood it. And we thought that it's going to be standoff like previous. Okay, it takes 1 day to wait for the network. But it didn't happen. And we thought like, wow, that's pretty cool. In the morning, 10 a.m., everything works clearly, precisely. You can see everything. So, some small things, but you can live with them.
Касается наших ожиданий, мы, конечно,
As for our expectations, we wanted to win. We wanted to take the first place.
такой, хочется там...
We have the pretension, we want to fight. We made our attempt. Yeah, we were pretty close.
Кстати, получилось, да.
That was a pretty good competition, I would say. Even though our colleagues were 1/4 more points than us,
Как бы, я думаю, что...
but still, I think they also understood that they have reserve, we have reserve.
Здесь не оправдались, здесь мы будем пытаться...
So, from this point of view, we have not justified our expectations. We will try to fight better next time. But we received a lot of pleasure. Wonderful.
В этот раз сделали
And this time, we've made a Telegram bot with technical support. Did you like it?
линия поддержки.
So it's the first support line which is going to look at all your tickets.
Сильно лучше.
Did you like it? Much better.
В чем была
Last year, what was the problem?
жира? Она как бы норм, ну типа там в целом все
It was okay,
участники,
but
когда они
participants in Rush, when they're playing 15-20 people,
не улавливают
they
это жира,
don't
зайти.
understand where to go, where do they write the ticket, the rules of writing the ticket, which command, which IP. They've been writing very simply. Can you write a ticket? And it was done very awfully. There was a special person for tickets, but with the bot, you select something.
Вот это не хватило, наверное, да. Потому что нужно было писать ее иногда, чтобы не дублировалось. Ну вот выбираешь как бы и
But you select it, you select,
все, можно было сказать, там,
write a ticket,
кинуть ему
and everybody could have a link for this board. It was wonderful and easy. So it was much better. A little bit, the situation was that maybe it took some time, like 7 hours, your ticket was hanging,
ходили.
but there were some problems inside, and you cannot go against it. But interface-wise, yeah, it's much better. I like it.
Тимур,
Two things. Timur, what about you?
С Егором, потому что
Yeah, I will agree with Igor because right now it's very nice, good, and convenient,
того, что
and big advantage
улица
because I could share with my guys from my office who was responsible for something, and they locally could solve problems with technical support.
не меня, там не специальных ребят.
They have not been pulling me or other guys, and we could concentrate on the objective that we were trying to do at that moment of time.
Отличный. Ну, единственное,
That's it.
да, что
And the only thing is that sometimes
решать вопрос в рабочем порядке.
they could solve problems in a working mode together with the team,
Мы здесь
with the
оффлайн
field team.
очень просто мы
Because we're playing offline, we can simply approach, we can look at this. But guys who work online, for them, it is difficult. It is much more difficult.
можно было к любому.
And there were a lot of them. Well, we could approach any employee and ask physically, and they could tell us, they could help us. They've been reloading machines if something didn't work. But online,
Возможно, стоит выделить какого-то там
they should have a separate person responsible for the field to be responsible for answering the question. It's a big advantage when you play on the platform because you see what really happens there. And the second thing is that you can
Что-то ты ему скажешь,
approach the organizer, you can ask him something and he will understand you.
этого короткого общения, оно сильно решает.
So the possibility of this short communication helps you and gives you a different level of understanding. So maybe a good strategy is to give one place to every team to participate at a separate table
Какие-то сети, куда-то
so that they could approach
чтобы
and ask for their team
у них было тоже. Они
in order to have this live communication and they would understand where the organizer is. This is, I think,
встречи с
it helps you when you have a possibility to meet the organizers. And we did have live meetings. We've been communicating with them, and from every team which arrives, they learn about the organizer sees them, and you have the possibilities of solving those small questions and having the common understanding on them.
ну, подштриховывать, да, то есть, чтобы все было.
It helps you to solve them very easily, carefully and accurately.
Просто очень сильно выиграть понимание ситуации. Даже не
In a standoff, understanding of the situation helps you to win. It's impossible without practices, without existence, or without skills, but understanding is very important. Even if you take the top hackers,
они не будут первыми, скорее всего.
they will never be the first ones here because they need to understand the context. Yes, we feel that foreign teams
Что-то они не
They
в
misunderstand something.
это топовые
They
команды.
don't understand. These are top CDF teams, and from pen test point of view, there are powerful teams, but something stands in their way.
Наигрывать, да,
They didn't understand the concept. Of course, we are here to ask code by we want just because
играем, да, мы знаем, что нас там ждет.
we already know what to expect, and we approximately knew what tasks and objectives we'll have to do something similar but a little bit different. Nevertheless, it's a big advantage.
Разрушить, ну, то есть только менять надо.
How can we destroy it? I don't know. We need to change the standoff.
Сейчас будет простроена работа после вот
How will you build your work after completion of the standoff? What's next?
Все разъедутся по своим...
Everybody will go home to their workplaces, and we'll see in November.
работа над ошибками.
And work on mistakes.
Ошибками нет. В любом случае будет пару созвонов.
Well, in any case, we are going to have a couple of calls
Какие-то вещи.
because we do write down some problems that didn't work, some things which worked, and we have to keep them and work on them. And maybe 1 month before the beginning of the next one, we meet together, we discuss it, we put some corrective actions, so, and we work on mistakes.
Вылазки в
We have joined meetings to 365 like we did it this time. What about you?
У нас в любом случае, да, есть работа над ошибками.
In any case, we do work on mistakes
И вот сейчас
during first days, especially 1-2 days we are resting, we're sleeping, eating.
будни мы звоним сначала
So
с составом, таким как бы
next week we are going to meet between the captains, those who understand the strategy of the team development. We'll discuss big mistakes, then we'll meet together, we'll discuss some other mistakes, we'll collect feedback from team members. Usually we come to the conclusions, the important conclusions, 1, 2, 3.
что там было. Вот было раз, два, три. И мы за неделю там как
And next year we'll remember them. We did have 1, 2, 3. And we do everything possible to prevent them
сказать.
without any pretenses.
Ну вот, к сожалению, надо тоже поиграть нам в 365,
Yeah.
потому что реально
We need to play 365 because I think this is a very important aspect of understanding. Yeah, we missed it.
Что бы вы хотели
What
увидеть на след-
would you want to see at the next standoff? Maybe a new industry represented, at least one that you wanted to change here.
Интересный вопрос.
У меня есть
Interesting question.
хорошее предоставление понимания, что было бы в
First of all, we should have understanding, better understanding,
этой части.
but it's not fulfillable. Well, for example, 30 people play. They play 40 hours. It's 120
Рабочих
man hours,
1200, извиняюсь.
1,200 work hours. So we have 1,200 man hours in 4 days. And the price fund 1 million rubles,
Как бы
530.
мы
So in general,
калькулировали в головах,
even if we would calculate it in our hands, the price of an hour,
1,5 миллиона мы потратили человека часов, чтобы
we would spend 1.5 millions of hours so that one team would win.
придумать, где,
And we could invent something here.
может быть, нематериальная
Either this could be something non-material, non-money compensation, but
активность, как пиар.
this activity is like a PR activity, it's like some kind of a resource, some possibility of communication.
Для участников.
It would be realized better for the participants. Yes, it was pretty cool.
А я скорее про то, что можно
Must have. But what I'm saying is that we need to have some features for the teams.
ну, какие-то, не знаю, ресурсные возможности, там, какие-то,
They should have some resource possibilities, some community participation should be there.
да, там, или
Maybe the prize fund should be available.
было бы прикольнее, чтобы
That would be cool to have.
мы играем за фан,
Right now we're playing for fun, sometimes for fame,
не за приз. То есть
but not for the prize. We're not playing for the prize,
Хотелось бы больше
хотелось бы,
всё-таки
чтобы
за
команды
приз.
такие,
but you would like to.
хотим выиграть,
Yeah, of course, we do want to win money. Some people do want to win money.
Да, прикольно.
Okay, I understand. That's pretty cool.
представить
Yeah, we can show sponsors, put on T-shirts. Yeah, come to us for advertising.
Исходя, ну, наверное,
So, from expectations and desires, we wanted to see higher number of people in the team that you can bring with you.
бы сильно очень
Because we do have some people we want to bring them, but we're not able to stick them within a limit. So they stayed home, they've been supporting us,
увеличить. Мы
and if they will increase number of people, then would come with better people, because some of them we haven't seen for years,
А это мероприятие, которое максимально...
because we live in different countries, and this is the event which unites us.
Да. Хорошо.
Yeah.
Учту.
Good. I'll take this in consideration. Thank you very much, Timur. Thank you very much, Yegor.
У вас первый,
Congratulations with the first place, with the victory,
скорее всего, так.
Надеюсь.
like that.
Да, вы четырехкратный победитель.
You are 4-time winner of standoff
Да, да, да.
and a second prizer.
Надеюсь, что вам
I hope that it was useful to you to listen about their experience and impressions.
следующий
If you want to participate in following standoffs,
прокачиваться на наш
try to advance yourself on online field 365. It will help you how to submit reports, how the infrastructure works, and will give you a possibility to go through the selection tour